Hey everybody, this is Mr. Regner, and I wanted to make this video as an introduction and a description of our data project. We will be starting a data project which sort of encapsulates everything we've learned about in chapters 9 and 10 in our Big Ideas book. So it's stuff that we know what we're doing, but now we're taking it into a real life situation, a situation that you're going to control. There's actually 5 steps to our project, and I wanted to outline those steps with you here in the video, and you also will get a paper that you can kind of look at on Google Doc that'll also help you out. So I'm going to outline our 5 steps for us, maybe give some examples, and actually have a very special helper that's going to help us out today.
My name's Lacey Regler, and I'm here to help you with math.
Alright, so step 1, we want to choose a statistical question. Remember, a statistical question is one where you expect to receive different numbers or different answers back. Alright, one example of a statistical question could be, how many siblings do you have? How many pets do you have? Those are good ones because they give us numbers. But we're going to make this data project one that we can control within ourselves without having to really ask around a lot of people. And so our statistical questions are going to be based on like a performance, an exercise, if you will. So I've given you a couple of examples, and I want to share kind of precisely what I'm talking about in those examples. So example number 1, how many baskets can you make in 30 seconds? Let's take a look at an example now.
Let's see how many baskets that I can get in 30 seconds.
Here's another example. How many points can you score in a video game? It can be any video game you want to play, so this is really up to you. But remember, we want to record that data. Here's another example.
Yes, I got a new high score.
Now the next example is kind of a strange one. It's how far can you throw an object? So I don't want to limit you to one particular thing. So you might throw a ball. You might throw a shoe.
Honestly, who throws a shoe?
What? That's actually a very good question. I don't know why you would do that, but if you wanted to throw a shoe, you could. You could just measure it by pacing it out, or you can measure with an actual yardstick or maybe like a tape measure or something.
Let's see how far I can throw this shoe.
Another example that I have is how long is it going to take you to go from here to there? All right, this is kind of like a little bit of a race. So be creative with this one. You can think about, running from one tree to another tree in your yard or at a park. You could think about if you want to take it out on the road or the sidewalk, if you have like a scooter or a bicycle that you want to use.
Let's see how fast I can go back to the garbage can to back over here.
Another example might be you could set it up like a obstacle course, kind of make it a little bit more fun for yourself.
Let's see how fast I can run to the tree to there.
Yes! And I've left the door open for you to come up with your own creative statistical question that's based on an exercise. You'll see in most of these, I'm talking about recording like a time. We want to have a number as our statistical data, our statistical questions answer. So if you said what's your favorite thing to eat? French fries, pizza, that's not really the best statistical question for us to use for this particular data project. All right, so step number 2 is to plan out how are you going to gather your data. Now, again, in my examples, Lacey did a great job kind of showing you what the specifics would be. Here she is. Thanks, Lacey, for showing us that and helping us out. Very, very helpful, right? Again, you want to plan out how you're going to gather your data. If you're playing a video game, this is where you can tell me like what is the video game. If you're running a race, just kind of briefly describe for me, are you running from one tree to another like Lacey did earlier? Or do you have some other kind of course, obstacle course set up for yourself? So planning your data, that's step 2. You can just kind of briefly describe that for me. So now we're on to step number 3. This is the one where you're going to gather and record your data. All right, so you're actually going to do the exercise that you've planned, whatever it may be. If you're shooting baskets in a basketball hoop, if you're shooting baskets with socks in a laundry basket, if you're running from tree to tree, or maybe you have a video game that you're going to play, whatever it is, you're going to actually do those things multiple times. So this may be something that you do in like an afternoon, or if you want to space it out and maybe take a longer time gathering your data, you can do that as well. You're going to record your data like you see Lacey doing here on just a scrap sheet of paper.
Don't forget to record your data.
But on the official document, I'd recommend writing that data out in numerical order from least to greatest. That's going to help you out later on. So up to this point, it seems like this has all been pretty easy stuff. Planning out an activity and then doing the activity, recording some data. Easy, easy stuff. Now we're getting into more of the math type things with step number 4. In step number 4, this is where we're going to analyze the data. So if you've written out your data already in numerical order, you've got a data set. That data set could have a lot of numbers in it. So please use a calculator if you need to. But you're going to use that calculator or work it out the long way on a piece of paper to find the mean, the median, the mode, the range, the interquartile range, and look to see if you have an outlier. You'll record all of that here on the document for step number 4. Finally, we've reached the last step, and that is step number 5. In step number 5, now we're going to be looking at this data that you've collected in a visual way. So you're going to create a data display. Right, Lacey?
Yeah.
So you can choose whether you want to use a dot plot chart, whether you want to use a stem and leaf plot. You can use a histogram. You could do a box and whisker plot. Whatever you would like to use, whatever you think you are most comfortable with, I just want you to show that data visually so that we can look at it, we can get an idea of what your data shows. All right, that is our data project in a nutshell. I hope this video has been helpful for you and it's giving you some really specific things to focus on so it clears up any questions that you might have. But if you have questions, even after watching this video, please feel free to send me an email or contact me so that I can kind of answer those questions for you specifically. I'm Mr. Regner. Good luck collecting your data. Thanks to Lacey for helping us out on today's video, and have a great day.
Bye-bye.